Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Let's wait to see who's going to come on in here today. Hey, Kawhi, what's good, man? Welcome in. Welcome in. I know we caught a lot of you guys off guard today. So today I got a pretty interesting live for you guys. Yes, yes. How y'all doing? Make sure you guys come in today. Make sure you hit the like button as you come in. Today we got a different setup today. We got something a little bit different. So we said let's do a live today to end off the week in a strong way. Nathan was good. Willow, welcome in. Welcome in. Jareth, how you doing? Good morning. The Realist, how you doing? How you doing? Jeer, welcome in. Welcome in. Killer Cam, what's good? Welcome in. Federico, how you doing, man? Welcome in. Make sure you guys hit the like button and also say what's up to Marco. Marco's also in here too, so give a shout out to Marco. He's also in here as well. Let's wait for more people to come on in here. Yes, 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 yes. Let's get the likes up and let's wait. We got a lot of stuff I want to cover today. For the new people that are coming in right now, we're using a different background today, so don't be alarmed by the different change. I'm gonna skip class to watch your stream. No, don't skip class. Don't skip class. Go to school. You can always catch the re-up. Don't skip class. Make sure you guys let's make sure we get the likes up. Let's try to get the likes. Let's try to get the likes to like 50 likes right now, so the notifications go out. Andrew, welcome in. Welcome in. Let's see how many people. Serge could come back. Yeah, don't worry. I'm going to get through all of your comments. Let's just allow everybody to get in here. Let's get the likes up, guys. Let's get the likes up so the notification goes out. We got a lot of stuff that I want to talk about today. So let's just allow everybody to come in. Hey, Alan, that's good, man. Multitasking, working while listening. That's a good one. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Let's wait for more people to come in here. These notifications go out a little bit differently. It's funny. YouTube is an interesting place. A lot of creators out there that do lives, it's the same thing. So we just got to be a little bit patient with the algorithm to get everything out there. Hey, how you guys doing? Sam, what's good? Welcome in. Long Beach, what's going on? Justin Moore, thanks for that. Please talk about Rondo screaming. Yes. I heard it. Funny enough, Justin, when I saw that when he was closing out to that shooter, hey, Max, welcome in. When he was closing out to that shooter, I heard it and I was like, did I hear him say that? I was like, no, he didn't really say that. And then he actually did say that. So Rondo did yell. Yeah, he did. But the funny thing is, he still hit the shot anyway, so it didn't make a difference. But it was good theater. Make sure you guys, let's keep the likes up. We got 40 people in here. Let's try to get the likes to 50 people before we get started. Let's welcome everybody in. Told you Lakers are trying. Yeah, that was a pretty interesting game. I'm going to talk a lot about that game today. I'm going to talk a lot about that game, about the Clippers, about the Lakers moving forward. So I got a lot of stuff. So let's just wait for everybody to come on in here. Slim Mac, how you doing? Welcome in. Let's see who else is coming in. Let's give everybody a chance. Let's give it about another minute and a half or so. Make sure you check in and let us know where you're coming in from. The big Penguin, Kareem Abdul, Drummond, Rondo to go. Yeah, Rondo, man. Rondo's been a major pickup. Yes. Let's okay, we almost at 50 people. Let's keep getting the likes. Coming in from Maryland. That's what's good. Maryland, the hometown. Welcome in. Lakers are Make sure you guys hit the like so we get it up. And also say what's up to Marco for the new people coming in here. Marco's in here as well. Let's keep it going. I'm going to just wait for some more people. Let's give it like another minute or so. Let's give it another minute or so. How y'all doing? Let's see who else we got. Do you think LeBron's career is declining? I'm not sure yet. Let's just wait for more people to come in. Okay, great. We're almost at 60 people. Let's keep them coming in. Brandon, how you doing? Welcome in. Compton in the house. What's good? Compton, misanthropic. What's good? Compton was good. Okay, let's keep it going. Okay, Max Kellerman does. Yeah, but Max Kellerman, he's with the Tom Brady and all of that stuff. Max Kellerman is known for doing that, so you can't be mad at Max. Okay, let's give it like another 30 seconds. Let's get some more people in here, and then we'll get it started so we get as many people in here. So we give everybody a chance to join. Boogie Cook Toxic Trez. Yeah, Montrez, man. You see, I think everybody's beginning to see now the difference without having Montrez. This is what I was saying, but I'm gonna get to Montrez as well. I got that on the list of things I want to talk about today. Let's give it about 10 more seconds. Let's try to get the likes to 50 likes, guys. I would appreciate that. Hey, Kawhi, thanks for that. Kawhi, thanks for the Aaron. Yeah, good morning, wherever you're coming in. Gary, Indiana, but working in Jamaica. Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you guys for joining us. Let's give it 10 more seconds and we'll get started. Okay, let's give it a few more seconds and then we'll get started. Kawhi only took 6 shots. I thought he took more shots than that. I think yesterday Kawhi Leonard, while everybody comes in, let me just pull up that for a second. I think Kawhi Leonard took more shots than that. Let me just pull it up for a second. Let's give about 10, 15 more seconds. Let me pull this up so I can just verify that, because I'm going to have the box score in front of me right here so we can talk about that. Yeah, you're right. Kawhi only attempted 6 shots. You're absolutely right. I didn't know that. Second game in a row. Okay. So we got about 60, 70 people in here. More people are going to come in. We've been on here for about 5-6 minutes. So before we get started, again, make sure you hit the like so we get the likes, at least 50 likes. Also, for the new people coming in, if you guys want to join if you guys want to make sure your comments are read, because we got a lot of comments coming in, make sure you go ahead and click the join button to join the channel so you guys can become a member. Hey, thanks for that. And then we'll get started that way. Okay, so let me get into it here. I got a lot of stuff I want to discuss right now. So let me get into it here. So first of all, let's talk about that game last night. Going into that game, I said to myself, I'm talking to myself now, I had a feeling that the Clippers were going to win that game. Going into that game, I already had that feeling, right? Because I've been feeling all season long that the Clippers are a bad matchup for the Lakers. I've been saying this all season long. And I think for the first time today, I heard Max Kellerman make that exact same point, where Max Kellerman said, listen, I think the Clippers are a bad matchup for the Lakers, and talking about in terms of if the Lakers were to stay at the number 6 seed and the Clippers stay at the number 3 seed, if these two teams were to meet in the first round, Max also feels like that would be a bad matchup. But I've always felt that way, right? Because the Clippers present problems for the Lakers personnel. Just like I also think, to be fair, just like I also think the Denver Nuggets, for one reason or another, are a bad matchup for the Clippers. It just sometimes matchups make series. It seems to be the case, right? But I always felt this way because the Clippers present problems that the Lakers roster just simply doesn't have. Now, let me talk about this. The Clippers are a dominant perimeter team. This is the first thing when I'm looking at when I'm comparing these two teams as far as a matchup. They're dominant from the perimeter. If you think about Kawhi Leonard is a very tough matchup. Kawhi Leonard usually puts up good numbers when he plays against the Lakers. Last season, his first game, he scored 30. His second game, he scored 35. The next game, I think he scored 20, 26 or 25 points. I'm not sure. The last game was around the same. Kawhi Leonard last year against the Lakers, I don't have the averages. I didn't pull it up, but I'm sure he's in the high 20s against the Lakers. Then you got Paul George. Paul George in the first matchup between these two teams on opening night, Paul George scored 33 points. He hit, I think, 5 3-pointers, right? Paul George also presents problem for the Clippers. He's a very tough player to guard against. Then you have then you have Marcus Morris, right? He's he provides another issue for the Lakers because, as I said this and I'll say it again, going into that game last night, I said this. We were chatting on Dreamerspro Max yesterday, and I said, regardless if LeBron James plays or not, it's not going to have any effect on the Clippers' three-point shooting. Marcus Morris Sr. is another issue that he provides on the court. Let me just talk about Marcus Morris Sr. I've said this in the past, but I'm going to say it again. Make sure you guys keep getting the likes. We're almost at 50 likes. I appreciate that. I said this before, and I'll say it again. Marcus Morris Sr. is my favorite Clipper. Last season, when they had an opportunity, when they were making their decisions as far as their priorities, who to go after, who to resign, and all of these different things, Lawrence Frank, who's the president of basketball operations, said their number one priority was to make sure that they re-sign Marcus Morris Sr. That was his number one priority. And now people are beginning to see his worth. Let me give you guys some stats on Marcus Morris for a second. Do y'all know that Marcus Morris Sr. is the number 2 3-point shooter in the NBA as we speak. He's the number 2. He's shooting the second highest three-point percentage in the NBA. Marcus Morris Sr., I want you guys to think about this. He's shooting 47.5% from the three. For the season, he's shooting 47.5% from the three-point line this season. That's what this dude is shooting from the three-point line. If I look at his regular season shooting, he's shooting the same field goal percentage that he's shooting from the field just from the three-point line this season. That's Marcus Morris Sr. He's playing out of his mind basketball, especially from the three-point line. He makes this Clippers team very, very, very different. Let me say something else, something that maybe some people are not aware of, and why I said yesterday, whether or not, hey Cato, how you doing? Welcome in. Whether or not LeBron James played or not, it wouldn't make a difference. Here's why. The Clippers, as we speak, the Clippers have 10 players. I want you guys to listen to this carefully. The Clippers have 10 players on their roster that's shooting at least 40% from the three. I want you guys to listen to what I just said. They have 10 players on the same team that are shooting at least 40% from the three. If I go through the list right now and I give you the players that are shooting that percentage, let's go through them. Kawhi Leonard, he's shooting 39.6%. Rounded up, that's 40. Paul George is shooting 42% from the three. Marcus Morris Sr. shooting 47.5% from the three. And then you have Reggie Jackson shooting 44% from the three. Then you have DeMarcus Cousins who's shooting 43% from the three. Luke Kennard is shooting 46% from the three. Nicholas Batum is shooting 40% from the three. Patrick Beverley is shooting 42% from the three. Terrence Mann is shooting 41% from the three. And Yogi Ferrell is shooting 50% from the three. What team in the NBA can say that they have 10 players that are shooting 40% from the three-point line? There is no team. So when yesterday we were talking about whether or not LeBron plays or not, I'm like, yes, LeBron plays obviously is going to make a difference in terms of the Lakers offense, how it flows, the type of defense that the Clippers are going to play, all of these different things. But I don't see LeBron stopping the Clippers from shooting 40% from the three. I don't see it happening. LeBron is one man. It's not like LeBron is going to go out there and guard 20 people. He's not going to do that. Make sure you guys keep hitting the likes. Let's try to get the likes to 100 likes. I appreciate that. Let me go through some of your comments and I'll see what else you guys are saying. Let's try to get the likes to 100, guys. I would appreciate that. The Lakers are in trouble. This is Nick Wright's comment. The Lakers are in trouble if they lose against the Blazers. First of all, if the Lakers were to lose against the Trailblazers, for sure, they're going to go into the play-in tournament. Now, if they beat the Blazers, because they went out there and beat the Denver Nuggets when their back was against the wall. But if they lose to the Suns, then there's a very good possibility that they can end up in the play-in tournament. I think the Lakers are probably going to end up being in a play-in tournament. Now, are they going to be one of the teams that comes out of the play-in tournament? Absolutely. I don't think the Lakers are going to fall out of the playoffs. That's not going to happen. But I don't think a lot of people would have foreseen them going into the play-in tournament to begin with, but they've been having some health issues. Excuse me. Players have been injured. Yesterday, Anthony Davis goes down with the ankle injury that turned into a back spasm. That's just bad luck, right? And that happens to everybody at different points in the seasons. Make sure you guys hit the like button, guys. Let's try to get it. Let's try to get the likes to 100 likes. I'd appreciate that. Let me see what else you guys are saying. I got a lot of content that I got for you guys. Let me just see. Skip Bayless said LeBron James is avoiding the Clippers and Trailblazers. Well, if that's true, that means he's also avoiding the Suns. And I don't think LeBron is avoiding the Suns. I just think that LeBron is probably looking at his health and saying, listen, if you force me to play basketball, I can go out there and play. But I don't believe I'm going to play at 100%. And I don't think LeBron James wants the headlines of, oh, LeBron, he's washed up. He can't play anymore. Look at Kawhi Leonard or look at Paul George. I don't think LeBron wants that type of attention. So I think LeBron is just saying, let me sit out. Yesterday in the game, Reggie Miller said he would just rather LeBron sit out and come back healthy than try to play some game and then ultimately still not really have an effect because they may still end up losing, number one. And number two, end up back in the play-in tournament. So I don't think LeBron has any real reason to really force anything. I see you guys are leaving a lot of comments. Again, don't forget to click the join button to join the channel so I can go through your comments. Let me continue here with my with my notes. Now, the Clippers are shooting 41.7% from the three as a team. And some of you guys will be sitting there asking yourselves, why is this relevant? What does it have to do with the fact, so what, they're shooting 42%, 41.7% from the three? What does it matter? Because the Lakers, as I've been saying, they don't have the personnel to guard their shooters. This is why it's important. The Lakers starting five, let me read you off their starting five to the best of my knowledge. They have LeBron James. They have Dennis Schroeder, who I think is 6'1", I'm not sure, 6'2". Dennis Schroeder. You have KCP. You have Anthony Davis, and you have Andre Drummond. AD and DeAndre Drummond are not quick enough to get to those perimeter shooters, and they're not quick enough to constantly be rotating. They're not, number one. Number two, if you put Andre Drummond in a pick and roll and you get him on AD or not, excuse me, on AD or Paul George or Kawhi, they're going to beat him off the dribble 9 times out of 10, and which is going to create an open look for a three-point shooter. This is the first problem. The Lakers don't have the personnel. They're not quick enough on the perimeter. LeBron can make a difference. Dennis Schroeder can certainly make a difference. KCP can certainly make a difference. But if you're going to play DeAndre Drummond and AD, then you're going to have some problems, right? And I think the Lakers may need to probably play a different lineup if they're going to be playing against the Clippers, because I don't think that lineup has enough quickness in it. They have enough size, yes, but it doesn't have enough quickness. LeBron James, in my opinion, is the only starter, I'm talking about starter, that really has a legitimate shot at defending Paul George or Kawhi Leonard for possession here and there. You're not going to put LeBron James on PG for an entire game or an entire series, or Kawhi Leonard, because he's 36 years old. He's going to get burnt out. He's going to use up all of his energy. It's not like as if you say, okay, LeBron, go stick Kawhi Leonard for a series. You think it's going to be easy? It's going to be hard. Kawhi Leonard is a much younger player than LeBron, so he has a higher probability of being able to stick with him because of his youth. LeBron is 36 years old. It's not like as if he's a spring chicken, number one. Number two, some people have been saying, listen, the Lakers are going to be able to dominate the Clippers in the interior. And it's fair to say, hey guys, let's make sure we try to get the likes to 100. I appreciate that. Let's try to get the likes to 100. I appreciate that. The Lakers, okay, although they can be a dominant team in the interior, but because of the fact that Andre Drummond and AD are playing on the same team, the paint has become too congested. AD already does not like to play the 5. He's made that clear. He can play the 5 in the fourth quarter in the last 5-6 minutes of a game. Sure, he'll do that. But AD has said he doesn't like the constant banging and bumping into him. It's just not something he enjoys doing. So AD already is reluctant to play that position. And I think for the Lakers to have success against the Clippers in a series, I think AD may need to go to the 5, or they may need to sit Drummond and bring in Marc Gasol. One of those two things needs to happen because AD and Drummond are not quick enough on the perimeter to deal with them. Secondly, let me get to Andre Drummond. A lot was made about Andre Drummond. A lot was made. I remember when they got Andre Drummond, it was the same kind of sentiment that I got from Shannon Sharp and others and whoever else was covering the team. It was the same sentiment I got when they acquired Montrezl Harrell. It's almost as if when the Clippers had Montrezl Harrell, he was 6'6", 6'7". When the Lakers got him, he grew 4 or 5 inches. Montrezl Harrell was always going to be a 6'7" power forward. At one point, Montrezl Harrell and Kawhi Leonard, I think Montrezl was getting ready to shoot a free throw, and they walked past each other. And Kawhi Leonard, for a second, he looked like he was a little bit taller than Montrezl Harrell. And this is the power forward. Montrezl ain't tall enough. He's not big enough. But there was a lot of hype around, we got Montrezl. And Skip Bayless was saying, okay, You forget that he's going to be a defensive liability. All right. And now you're seeing Montrezl Harrell, number one, it's turned into a bench player. He's coming off the bench. He's a role player. He's not even starting anymore. Number one. Number two, Andre Drummond. When they got Andre Drummond, Shannon Sharp was on Undisputed breakdancing, doing electric slide every day because, oh, we got Kareem Drummond. We got Kareem Drummond. We got Kareem Drummond. And I was like, bro, did you go look at his numbers before? He was playing with the Pistons on a team that didn't even matter. And you think this dude is going to step into the bright lights of LA, of Staples Center, and be a Laker, and he was going to deliver? All right. Now look at Andre Drummond. Let me see what Andre Drummond's numbers were yesterday. Let me see what Andre Drummond's number, because I don't be paying attention to it, but let me see his numbers. Andre Drummond played yesterday. First of all, Andre Drummond attempted 5 shots yesterday. 5. He made 3. Andre Drummond's finished the game with 9 points, 6 rebounds, and his plus minus was minus 7. Like, what are we talking about here? Now, I'm not surprised by this because I already had the right expectations. You know, they say one of the best ways to control your happiness is to manage your expectations. They had a lot of unrealistic expectations from Andre Drummond. What were you expecting to see? Andre Drummond was not going to come out there and score 20 and give you 20 and 10 every night. Mathematically, it wouldn't make sense. Where is he going to get the touches from if LeBron is playing, if Anthony Davis is playing? Where are all of these touches coming from? This is not, guys, you don't need a crystal ball to understand this. Like, you don't really need a crystal ball to get this. So when people were hyping him up, I'm like, okay, cool. I get you excited. You got the number 1 rebound in the NBA, but pump the brakes. You're not signing Hakeem Olajuwon. And a lot of people felt like they got Kareem or something like this. A lot of people felt like this, including Shannon Sharp. And let me say this. I got a lot more I want to cover right now. Make sure you guys keep hitting the like button. Let's try to get it to 100 likes, please. I appreciate that. I got a lot that and I want to say this one thing right now, real quick, because this is what's going to happen. They've already started with Kyle Kuzma. The Lakers, their roster, they have a crop of scapegoats. The Clippers, they have one scapegoat. That's Paul George. He's the number 1 scapegoat on the Clippers. If anything goes wrong, the first person they're going to look at is Paul George. But let me talk about the Lakers. The Lakers have a few scapegoats. You know who those scapegoats are going to be? Montrezl Harrell. That's going to be scapegoat number 1. If things don't go right, Montrezl, how can you be the 6th man of the year and you come up in here, you stinking up the joint? That's number 1. Number 2, you know who's going to be the second scapegoat? Andre Drummond, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, O'Neal. He's going to be the second scapegoat. Trust and believe that Shannon Sharp is going to come on TV and start talking about, come on, Andre, you got to give us more. You got to give us more. How do I know this? Because they did the same thing to Kevin Love, who was a perennial all-star. They dragged him through the mud. You would have thought that Kevin Love was some bench player when he was playing with the Minnesota Timberwolves. They did it to him. So trust and believe that Andre Drummond is going to be that scapegoat. You better believe it. And it's going to be unfair to him because they should have never had those expectations from him in the first place. They were acting like as if they signed the next coming of Shaq, when in the end, he was just Andre Drummond. And I feel bad for the guy because he's out there trying to live up to the expectations that were manufactured. Laker Nation are going to be looking at him like, why isn't Andre? Why did he only take 5 shots? Why did he only score 9 points? What were you expecting? The bright lights were on. The pressure was on. It was a nationally televised game. What were you expecting to happen? Name a time before that when Andre Drummond went out there and did something significant in the NBA. What was that time? It never happened. But yet still, they were expecting it from him. So that's my issue with Andre Drummond. Let me go through some of the comments again. I see you guys got a lot of comments. If you want me to, just make sure you click the join button to join the channel so I can see your comments because there's so many. I got to see. Zyrus Taylor, you're there laughing. Your team is losing. You're there laughing. I don't know. You should be laughing at yourself. I don't know who you're laughing at. Let me see what else you guys are saying. Lakers space in this. Oh, and you say this is a Clippers channel, and I guess ESPN and Undisputed is the Lakers network. So you can go kick rocks with that one. Let me see what else you guys are saying. I'm not worried about the Lakers. Trust me. I don't go to bed thinking about the Lakers at all. But there's a lot of Laker fans like you who thinking about us. People that support the Clippers. You here, you don't even support the Clippers, yet you're here. And you're talking about, I need to stop worrying about the Clippers. I don't know what's up with these dudes out here. From Trinidad, welcome in. Kawhi leaving in Utah is the first round exit, kid. All right. Okay. Let me see what other channels. You ain't got to flame. Nah, he flaming himself. You talking about worrying about the Lakers, yet you're in a live chat where they're talking about the Clippers and you're talking about stop worrying about the Lakers. How you sound? Get it together, man. All right, let me see. AD, he must have been somebody I went to high school with or something. Let me see. Who's talking about the Lakers in here? All right, so we've said that. So let me continue. If you guys have your questions, just keep leaving them in the comment section. Let me continue on here with my notes. Now, if the Clippers and the Lakers were to meet up, I think AD would punish Zubac in the paint and Serge if his mind is right. The problem is he needs to get his mind right? And LeBron, as I said, he's probably going to be their best perimeter defender unless they find a way and also Wesley Matthews. Wesley Matthews can do a good job, right? But as I said, AD doesn't like posting anyway, so I'm not sure if he's going to be able to take advantage of that matchup of Zoo or Morris or any one of those guys. Now, when the second unit comes in, when the Clippers' second unit comes in, 4 out of those 5 guys are most likely going to be shooters. You got Nicholas Batum. You got Rondo. Y'all saw Rondo out there. Somebody made me talk about it earlier in the you got Rondo out there screaming all type of stuff, messing with people's feelings out there. So you got Rondo, you got Kennard, you got Terrence Mann, or you got Reggie, because Reggie Jackson could possibly come off the bench depending on how fast Patrick Beverley develops. Now, another thing I want to talk about is the 3-point shooting. The Clippers, right now as we speak, are making 14 and a half 3-pointers a game, although that makes no sense. How can you make half of a 3 in a game? But they're making 14.5 3-pointers a game. The Lakers are making 11.5. That's a 9-point differential. Now, the Lakers are playing great defense, but as I said yesterday going into that live chat, for those of you guys who don't know, we were on Dreamerspro Max last night and we live chat during games. If you guys want to check that out, we're going to have that linked in the description below, so you guys can definitely check that out at the end of this live. We were live chatting during the game, and I said it early in the game. I said the Lakers need to make at least 10 3-pointers to remain competitive in this game. I said at least 10, because the Clippers are going to make a lot. The Clippers yesterday, how many 3-pointers did the Clippers make? The Lakers made 10, the Clippers made 13. It's a 9-point difference. So you got to make up for those threes. The Clippers are going to make threes. They have too much shooting for it not to happen. And I said that yesterday. Now, when LeBron comes back, I think LeBron is going to help the Lakers offense. I think he's going to make their offense move a little bit more smoother, but I don't think he's going to have any effect on the Clippers' ability to make threes. I don't think one person is going to stop an entire team or affect an entire team from shooting threes. No one has done it this season. Frank Vogel, I think after the first quarter, said, we said early in the game or in our game plan that we wanted to get out to their shooters. Yeah, in theory, yeah. But in practicality, I think the Clippers hit like 4 or 5 3-pointers in that first quarter. So in theory, things sound nice, but in reality, you actually have to go out there and actually make it happen. So they weren't able to stop them from hitting threes. Now, I think the Lakers are going to need to play small ball to beat the Clippers, in my opinion. That's what I think is going to need to happen. Either Andre Drummond sits, or AD plays the 5, or they move Marc Gasol back to the 5 to stretch. Something is going to need to happen for that to happen. Now, the Lakers, they're still the best defensive team. Make sure you guys, let's try to get the likes, guys, to 125 likes. I'd appreciate that. Let's try to get the likes to 125 likes. Thank you guys so much. Before I continue, let me just see what you guys are saying. Okay, so Jay Stone thinks the Clippers are 100% cursed. They'll find a way to choke. Okay, that's what Jay Stone believes, right? It's his right to believe that, because the Clippers have never made it past they've never made it to the conference finals, right? So he believes that they're not going to make it to the conference final, and that's his belief. And this is one of the things that the Clippers have working against them. People not believing in them. So they got to go out there and really prove it, because you have a lot of people that feel that way. Yesterday, they asked Shannon Sharp, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you trust Paul George? He said, I trust him at a 2. That's going to be there until you get the monkey off your back. Same thing with Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis Antetokounmpo, everybody's like, yeah, Giannis, we know you can put up great numbers. We know you're the back-to-back regular season MVP, but we got to see you do it in the playoffs when it matters. So there's always going to be that doubt, right? And until the Clippers prove it, you can expect that. It's par for the course. Let me see what else you guys are saying. You should definitely delete this channel when the Lakers win. Yeah, we'll do that, Christopher Lynn. Thank you for that. Thank you, because when we're sitting down here planning our business, we're thinking of you. Thank you so much for that. Let me see what else. I expect. Keep telling yourself that. Okay, let me see what else you guys are saying. Okay, let me see what you're saying. A lot of people are still living in last year, man. A lot of people are still living in last year. A lot of people are living in the past. All right. I'm not going to say anything because I could roast some of these dudes, but I'm not going to say anything because if we're going to go back to last year, we don't need to stop at last year. Okay. Don't make me roast some of y'all. We don't need to stop at last year because y'all talking about, oh, last year. Okay. If you want me to, I'll roast some of you because y'all talking about, oh, the Clippers can't get through. LeBron is flamed out in the playoffs multiple times in the finals. I don't hear nobody talking about that. You got a lot of faith in the dude that's 6-4 in the finals. Y'all got a lot of confidence in him. He's been swept in the finals 2 times. One time was a gentleman's sweep. You got a lot of confidence in him. I don't understand where all of this is coming from. A lot of y'all been poo-pooing Kobe Bryant. Kobe's 5-7 in the finals. And some of y'all talking about Kobe's not even a top 10 player, yet you got a lot of confidence in LeBron that's been roasted in the finals. I sound very hypocritical, a lot of selective amnesia. You're going to look at the Clippers and say, oh, the Clippers do this and that. But what about your boy? So y'all are being very selective. I just try to overlook it a lot of times because I know, okay, people are just trying to be funny and take shots. I get it. But it's a lot of selective amnesia. A lot of these same dudes talking about, oh, they're going to flame out, look at the past, is the same ones that's going to try to find a way to say Jordan is not the GOAT. Meanwhile, Jordan never lost. But when it's somebody else is losing, oh, they lost. But when it comes to your dude, oh, he never lost. All right. You sounding very hypocritical. I won't say anything. I'm just reading your comments. Make sure you know what you're talking about before you say it. That's all I'm saying. Don't make me roast you in front of all of these, in front of 220 people. That's all I got to say. Y'all are very hypocritical and you have a lot of selective amnesia. Your boy's 4-10 in the finals, and some of y'all got the nerve to say he's better than Jordan. That's a joke. That's all I'm going to say. A lot of selective amnesia. Anyway, let me continue on with my notes here. That's all I'm going to say. Y'all got a lot to say when you want to, it's like you're picking on who you want to bully. It's like the bully that knows who to pick on. But when it comes to the other dude, no, hey, man, how you doing? They want to dap you up. But when it's the other dude, all of a sudden you want to puff up your shoulders. LeBron is 4-6 in the finals. Let's be real. You want to talk about last year, what happened with the Clippers? Let's go a little bit further back. Let's not stop at last year. Let's keep going. Come on, what are we talking about here? So that's all I'm going to say. Like, y'all are talking about Paul George and making fun of Paul George. LeBron was the one in an all-star game. Think about this, an all-star game that has no significance. Kobe was on him to take the last shot. He passes it off. They give him the ball again, passes it off again. And Kobe turned around and looked at him on the court and said, what the hell is wrong with you? Carmelo Anthony walked up to him. Dwayne Wade, he was like, I'm trying to pass it to Dwayne Wade. Kobe was like, screw him. That's the dude. Y'all want to say is better than Jordan? And then you want to make fun of other people when they failed? Meanwhile, your boys failed so many times. I'm not going to say anything. That's why I said I could never go on Undisputed or any of these shows. I would roast these dudes. Y'all are making me change my thing, but that's all I'm going to say. So let's just leave it at that. Let's continue. So anyway, the Lakers are still the number 1 rated defense in the NBA. They're number 1 when we're talking about defensive rating. They're the number 1 defensive rating, so they're still a good defensive team. The Clippers are the number 9th. Now, early in the season, they were towards 15, 18, and I was saying that the Clippers were not good enough. I said that. I said the Clippers are not good enough defensively. They've improved. They're now in the top 10. They're number 9. The Clippers are also the number 2 rated offense in the NBA. Number 2. And the Lakers are the number 24th rated offense. Is one of the reasons I keep saying this. I said, if the Lakers make it to the finals, which they still can, these are for the dudes that's in their feelings, which they still can. My issue with the Lakers is this, is not their defense. The Lakers are a good defensive team. The question is, can they score enough points to stay with the Nets? The Nets right now, they've been kind of stumbling, but remember, James Harden is not playing. Their number one playmaker is not playing. It's the reason why you're seeing their offense having some hiccups, kind of similarly to the same reason you're seeing the Lakers offense have some issues. But once James Harden comes in, the Nets offense is going to flow a little bit better. And it's the same thing with LeBron. Once LeBron comes back, the Lakers offense is going to flow a little bit better. Hey guys, let's try to get the likes to 150. I'd appreciate that. Let's try to get the likes to 150. I would appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for that. Anyway, so the Lakers are going to need to generate points. This is my fear. As I said with the Brooklyn Nets, a lot of people want to close their eyes and wish it away. These guys are real. They exist. They're real. James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and what's his name? And James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant are on the same team. They play on the same team. These dudes are averaging at least 75 a game. And if your game plan is this, we're going to go in and we're going to try to lock them up and play some great defense, good luck with that. Newsflash, there is no defense for KD in the NBA. There's no one person in basketball that can guard KD. If there was, it would have happened already. LeBron James 4 years ago couldn't even guard KD. So now he's going to guard him. Who on the Lakers roster are you going to put on Kevin Durant for an entire series? Who? Who's the person? Who on the Lakers roster are you going to put on James Harden? He's one of the best players at getting to the rim and drawing fouls. If you sneeze on him, if his beard moves like 1 or 2 millimeters, they're going to call a foul. So, like, what are we talking about? You're not going to stop this team. And Kyrie Irving, there's no answer for them. Once James Harden is playing, you're going to need to be able to generate points. And Andre Drummond is not the answer for that. That's one of the reasons why I felt the Clippers have the best shot. If we're looking at teams, they can at least remain because you're going to need to be able to score at least in the 120s to stay competitive with Brooklyn. You're going to need to. When they lost to the Nets early in the season, it was 120 to 124. It was a high-scoring game because the Clippers played perfect, and at the last few minutes, their big three got loose. People act like as if James Harden didn't score like 25 plus points, have 25 plus games or 30. People act like as if it's not like it's like it didn't happen. What are we talking about here? Brooklyn is legit because of their offense. They may not be good on defense, but when you can score like that, who cares? So that's all I'm saying. And that's why I think the Clippers have a better shot because the Clippers are more balanced of a team. They're top 5 in offense, top 10. They're top 5 in offense, top 10 in defense. The Lakers are top 5 in offense, but where do they rank defensively? The Lakers rank number 24. So how's it going to happen? You got to look at the personnel. If you're playing against the Nets, whenever you play against the Nets and they get a pick and roll, whatever the switch is, they're always going to have the advantage. They're always going to have the advantage. Somebody said the Lakers beat the Nets. Like, who played? When did the Lakers? Okay, if the Lakers beat the Nets, okay, but who played in that game? I saw the Lakers beat the Nets. The Nets beat the Lakers with LeBron 89. It didn't matter. If you're going to believe that the Lakers beat the Nets, if you're believing that that's going to happen in the playoffs just because they beat them, it's not going to happen. The Nets can beat anybody in the NBA. They can beat anybody in the NBA. I'm not going to let's not front. They're a very, very good team. So that's the second thing I want to say. Now, Shannon Sharp said that yes, last year the Lakers were still not a very good as far as offensive scoring team and a 3-point shooting team. First thing is, again, this is not last year. I don't know what it is with people that live in the past and do things like this is a different calendar year. Last year, James Harden was a rocket. Last year, KD didn't even play. That's last year. This is this year. So a lot of things have changed. Number one. Number two, they didn't play the Clippers last year in the playoffs. And let me say this. The Clippers got better this year then they're a better team this year than they were last year. If you don't believe me, if you feel like I'm just, oh, that's conjecture. Oh, you're just trying to hype up the team because you support the team. Okay, so maybe this didn't happen. The Clippers this year added, we're talking about personnel now, Serge Ibaka, although he hasn't played that many games, Rajon Rondo. No one here in the comment sections or anywhere else is going to dispute the fact that Rondo coming to the Clippers is an upgrade over Lou Williams. I don't even think this is a question. Nicholas Batum, DeMarcus Cousins, and Paul George is having a better year. PG is having a better year this year than he did last year with the Clippers. Make sure you guys keep hitting the like button, guys. Let's try to get the likes to 150 likes. Let me see what else you guys are saying. Make sure you guys get the. We're 250 people. Let's see what we can do. Let me see what else you guys are saying. Let me go through some of these. Again, if you guys want your comments to be read, make sure you go ahead and click the join button to join the channel. It's next to the $sign to join the channel because I'm just going to pick a few here. Let me see what else you guys are saying. Let me see what else you guys are saying. LeBron had to see. There you go with the excuses again. LeBron had to face how is that KD's business? Like, how is that KD's business? You see, this is why I can't deal with some of these LeBron fans. I can't deal with you guys. You guys are unbelievable. This is some of the most hypocritical bunch of fans. He's saying that LeBron had to face the KD Golden State Warriors. Okay, so fine. If that's the case, you want to say, so he was outmatched, right? I'm assuming that's the point you're trying to make. Okay, fine. Dirk Nowitzki had to face LeBron James, a prime LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh in the finals. So what's your point? Because the argument he's making, he was overmatched. So explain to me how a team with Dwayne Wade, three-time champion, Hall of Famer, Chris Bosh, who's going into the Hall of Fame, LeBron, who's a top 5 player of all time, couldn't beat Dirk Nowitzki, Shawn Marion, and Jason Terry? But you want to come and tell me about, oh, KD he was with Steph and Clay. Cut it out, man. Cut it out. Stop picking and choosing. The same thing you're complaining about is the same thing you benefit from. Where do they do, like, where do these fans come from? It's the same thing. Nobody's taking anything away from you, but in that point in the NBA, it was an unfair team. It's the reason why the Miami Heat won 22 games in a row that season. What are we talking about? And well, KD had this guy, so it's unfair. What are you talking about? You benefited from the same thing. And now you want to talk about KD. Oh, but KD had Stephen Curry, and he had these guys, and it was unfair. But meanwhile, you had a prime LeBron, Dwayne Wade, who had won a Finals MVP, and you had Chris Bosh, who's a perennial 20-10 guy, and you went up against the Finals, Dirk Nowitzki, Jason Terry, Jason Kidd, who's like 34 years old, and you couldn't beat them. And he didn't have help, but now, but yeah, KD. Y'all are haters, man. It's not that nobody's hating on LeBron. You guys are hating on everybody else. Y'all don't want to give nobody props. And the worst part is, y'all always try to tear down everybody on your way to giving your boy props. These are the only fans that do this. It's always about tearing down somebody to make somebody else look good. It can't just be, he's good. And the funny thing is, I got LeBron in my top 5 all time. That's not good enough. These dudes want to back you down and put a foot on your neck to say, no, you got to be the best. Why? Jordan is the best. Deal with it. Kareem is better than LeBron. Deal with it. Go look at his accomplishments. Go look at his numbers. What are we talking about here? If you don't mention Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in your top 10, for the dude that say you don't know nothing about basketball, you don't know nothing about basketball. Kareem was a 19-time All-Star. He has 38,000 points. He has 6 championships. What are we talking about? Y'all know how many all NBA teams he's made in his career? And nobody wants to talk about him. KD had. Man, cut it out. And obviously, y'all are talking about people hating on LeBron. So you don't like the channel, yet you're sitting here watching it. Trying to fight the good fight. I don't get it. Please make sure you guys keep hitting the like button, guys, so we get the likes up. Let's keep it up here. I got a lot more I want to say, and then we'll close it out here. Keep leaving your questions. I'm gonna try to get to as many questions as you guys have, and then we'll close it out. Now, the Clippers also got better without Montrezl Harrell. Just yesterday, Reggie Miller was saying that he doesn't even like the body language of Montrezl Harrell. Montrezl Harrell, that they were saying, can be a locker room guy, a locker room cancer. And now Reggie Miller, who I'm sure doesn't watch every single Laker game, was talking about, look at Montrezl Harrell's body language. Now you got him. I think they got much better with Rondo over Lou Williams. So the question is, can the Lakers get it together? Yes, I think the Lakers can get it together. Yes, I do. Let me just say that. Make sure you guys keep hitting the likes. Let's try to get to 150 likes. Yes, I think the Lakers can get it together. Yes, I think the Lakers are going to make it to the playoffs. There's no way the Lakers are going to miss the playoffs. The Lakers are going to make the playoffs. I'm not one of those people that's going to go that far. However, I think that LeBron James and Anthony Davis need to get healthy. They need to get healthy. LeBron and AD need to get healthy. To Max's question, do you think the Warriors? I think the Warriors have a shot. In a 1 or 2 game scenario, anything can happen with Stephen Curry. Anything. Stephen Curry can go nuclear, and he can he can put you in the playoffs. Montrezl got dominated by Cousins as expected. This is not nothing new. As I said before, people say, oh, you're trying to get on Montrezl. I'm not getting on Montrezl. Montrezl is 6'7". He can't guard him, just like Kawhi Leonard cannot guard Joel Embiid. It's not me getting on Kawhi. It's the reality. Joel Embiid is too big. Nobody on the Clippers can deal with. If the Clippers get to the finals and they somehow face the Sixers, Joel Embiid is going to be a matchup nightmare for the Clippers. This is not me hating on him. This is just me being honest. That's all I got to say about that. So I think Montrezl Harrell, I don't think Montrezl Harrell, the Lakers are pretty. Now, anyway, back. So I think LeBron and AD need to get healthy. That's one thing. Secondly, let me talk about Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis needs to get his mind locked into these games. Anthony Davis needs to be a little bit more aggressive. Okay? Anthony Davis needs to play with a little bit more urgency. If you look at Stephen Curry and you look at Anthony Davis, right? If you look at these two guys, you wouldn't be able to tell who had the better career. You wouldn't be able to tell because Stephen Curry is playing just as hard as if it was 2016 and he was trying to win his first regular season MVP award. Stephen Curry is going hard every single night. Every single night. AD needs to play with that type of focus and tenacity. Charles, do you feel Cousins can get back to his previous level? I think it'll take him time. This is a question I'm answering. I think it'll take him time. I don't think that DeMarcus Cousins, who's been bouncing around the NBA, can just all of a sudden come back and all of a sudden start playing at the level that he used to. I think it's going to take time. But what we're seeing is DeMarcus Cousins is getting better pretty much every single game. Every single game, he gets a little bit better. He gets a little bit more confident. Just yesterday, he went out there and he got you another 11 points. He got you 11 rebounds in 16 minutes. He hit a three-pointer. He played some defense. He showed you that size when you're playing in the NBA can be a factor, that it does matter. He proved that again, but you got to give him time, right? But I don't think DeMarcus Cousins is under some type of pressure because they're not putting pressure on him. He's just expected to come in, play 10 to 15 minutes whenever he gets his opportunity and play the best that he can. Make sure you guys keep hitting the likes, guys. Let's try to get the likes to 150. I'm almost done here, and I'll go through as many questions as I can. LeBron is great, but the GOAT is Jordan. I don't even know why we debated. Did the Clippers even do a tribute video to Montrezl Harrell? I'm not even sure. I want to see the rotation, the playoffs, the Clippers center. Yeah, I think we're going to have to figure that out. Somebody saying thank you, Mark. Charles, do you honestly think the Lakers will repeat this year? Listen, if the Lakers get healthy, let me just say this. I've been saying this all season long. that I still give the Lakers respect as the champs. I do. They still have LeBron James. They still have a very good coach who's a championship coach. They're still a very good defensive team. So if the Lakers somehow were to make it to the Western Conference Finals or to the finals, nobody's going to be surprised. I'm not going to write them off like that. However, the team is a little bit older. LeBron is a little bit older. Anthony Davis needs to start playing a little bit better. These are all realities. This is not my, like, those things need to happen. It's not a shoo-in. They're like, oh, they're going to walk in there and just win it. They're having some issues. Health is going to be a problem. So I think that's something we got to pay attention to. And I think it's going to be a real factor. And I think these are the questions that they need to answer. Another thing, I think the Lakers, I still need to know, and I don't know. I need to know if LeBron can play with Andre Drummond. I still don't know that. I'm not sure if LeBron James and Andre Drummond can work on the court together. I'm not sure. Because LeBron has only played 2 games with him. And he clogs up the paint. Remember, LeBron is a slasher. So I'm still waiting to see how LeBron is going to play with him. And unfortunately for the Lakers, it could mean that the only opportunity LeBron is going to have a chance to understand whether or not he can play with him is either going to be in the play-in tournament or in the last 2 games of the season. And that's a little bit unfair. But that's the reality. Hey, thanks for that. Thanks so much for that. So that's the reality. These are the things we can't like circumvent. Same thing with the Clippers. Serge Ibaka is coming back. They're going to have to start working on him. You see Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard has minutes restrictions. These are things that happen when players are coming back from injuries. So they're going to have to work him back into the lineup. It's not like I said, it's just going to be a shoo-in. Now, as far as the Clippers, the only question I have about the Clippers is this. It's not about Tyronn Lue. Tyronn Lue is already a championship coach. It's not about Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is a 2-time finals MVP. So it's not about that. My only question about the Clippers is Paul George. What Paul George are we going to see in the playoffs? That's the number one question the Clippers will have to answer. Will Paul George show up in the playoffs? That's the only question. Because if he does, then the Clippers got a legitimate shot to go to the Western Conference Finals. At the very least, they have a legitimate shot. But if he doesn't, then the Clippers are going to be in trouble. I heard Stephen A. Smith up there today speaking his Greek or his French or his, I don't know what language he was speaking today. Okay? Stephen A. Smith comes out and he said, but I'm looking, but the guy I got my eye on Kawhi Leonard, because Kawhi Leonard got to show me what's good. He got to show me what it's all about in a game 6 and a game 7 situation. He got to show me, are you that dude or are you not that dude? Come on, you the one that got your key dangling and talking about you the king. Well, let me see what you got. Let me see what you got, Kawhi Leonard. Let me see what you got. And I'm like, hold up a second. Is it just me? Is it just me? Or does Kawhi Leonard already got 2 rings? Is he already a champion? Like, is it just me? Or Kawhi got to prove something to who? Is it just me? Is Kawhi Leonard the name with the pandemic Kawhi? Hell no. So what you talking about? Kawhi Leonard got something to prove? You mean Paul George got something to prove? And Max Kellerman be looking at him like, yo, what's up with this dude? He'd be looking at him like, what is up with this dude? Is he serious? He'd be looking at him like saying, what's wrong with you? What do you mean Kawhi Leonard has to prove something? Paul George is the one that needs to prove something. He's the one we got the questions about. Ain't nobody sitting up here but you asking him whether or not Kawhi Leonard got to show up. He's the only one. It's Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp, and the dude and the dude in the chat that feels that LeBron is the best. These are the only 3 people I know. So Paul George got something to prove. I don't know what Stephen A. Smith is talking about. I truly don't know. Yeah, but Kawhi, he got to go up there with the key dangling and the chain. He got to show us what you about. Can you show up in big time and show us what you got? Because I'm going to be looking at you. It's like, bro, what are you talking about? It's like, yo, what are you talking about? So in my opinion, I think Paul George is the number one question mark until we get into the playoffs and we see what Paul George can do. There's always going to be doubts, even in my mind. Do I believe Paul George can do it? Yes, I can. I'm cracking up some people over here. I see y'all crack. I see you guys crack. That's how he talks, though. That's how he be doing. So Paul George is the audience. I see you, Kato. Kato, okay. All right. So Kato is part of it. He's been with us for a while. Kato always doesn't believe in PG, but Deuce Don always does. So it's going to be pretty interesting. So PG is the only question mark I got. If PG plays well, Clippers got a shot. If he doesn't, then I don't know. For the Lakers, I just think they need to get healthy. They need to get healthy, and I need to know if LeBron can play with Drummond and figure that thing out. If he does, I think everybody should be fine. And I still think the Lakers can get to the Western Conference Finals, believe it or not. I still do. But we got to wait and see how things play out. So let me try to answer a few more questions, and we'll go out and we'll leave it here. I see I got you guys cracking up. For the people that haven't joined the channel, make sure you guys go ahead and do that. Also, if you guys got any questions or real quick, if you guys want to go live chat with us, if you want to live chat with us, make sure you check out Dreamerspro Max and join before the playoffs begin, because we're giving 7 days access up until the playoffs. After that, there will be no more 7 days access. If you guys haven't done that, make sure you check it out, because we will be on there live every single night for every single game in the playoffs. But we'll also be doing, what's the word? We're also going to be analyzing every single playoff game the day after on the channel. So we're going to be doing these lives to take you guys questions. But if you want to get the raw reactions during the game and chat with us, make sure you guys sign up to Dreamerspro Max. You can check that out. Let me go through some of your comments. Okay, y'all think I did a good Stephen A. Smith? No, it's not me. That's how he talks, right? Stephen A. from New York. We're both from New York, so I know how he is. Let me see what else you guys are saying. You sound me. No, Stephen A. Smith, man. Candace, what's good? Yeah, so Candace, she's late. Yeah, welcome in. Let me see what else you guys are saying. He forgot about the 2019 playoffs. Yeah, no. He was, Stephen A., man. He was probably in Miami. Clippers are only going to the semifinals. No problem. We got to wait and see if that's what you feel. Stephen A. Smith is a joke. He's just doing him. Can I be reminded? Okay. What if the Lakers flop and lose tonight? Even if the Lakers lose tonight, this is Rambo's question. Even if they lose tonight, they're still going to be in the play-in game. So if they lose, for sure they're going to be in the play-in tournament. I think that's all that means, in my opinion. But the Lakers are going to make the play. I will be shocked if the Lakers lose in the play-in. The only way something like that can happen is if LeBron is not healthy, or it has to be something around health. There's no way in hell the Lakers are not going to make the playoffs. No way. The Lakers are going to make the playoffs. There's no way they don't make the playoffs. AD is not a leader. Yeah, I think we know that. I think the Lakers are better off in the play-in. Probably so. Who knows? Yeah, Kato was on. Yeah. Okay, let me see. Ty Lue needs to play Cousins and Rondo more. Well, Rondo has been playing a lot more, and Rondo's been giving the Clippers a lot. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you. Every time I see Rondo, it reminds me of lemon pepper. Every time I see Rondo, it reminds me of lemon pepper. And it just makes me happy. Like, thank God this dude is gone, because Rondo knows what the hell he's doing out there. Rondo knows what the hell when you look at Rondo play, you're looking at somebody that knows what the hell he's doing. Literally. Rondo knows what's happening. He knows plays before they come. He knows where everybody's supposed to be. Sometimes he gets a little bit too excited. He overpasses. Sometimes he gets some bad passes. But I'm so happy with Rondo. Really. DeMarcus Cousins, let me tell you something. DeMarcus Cousins was a great pickup for the Clippers. He was a great pickup. Why do I say that? Because last season, y'all remember when they signed Joakim Noah? Y'all remember Joakim Noah? Joakim Noah was back there looking like one of the security for the Clippers in the playoffs. He was looking like one of the security detail for the Clippers. They did not play him whatsoever. Instead, we got Montrezl Harrell in there getting rocked to sleep by Nikola Jokic. Doc Rivers refused to play him. At least Ty Lue is at least giving him some minutes to see what he has. And I think, depending on who they meet, for example, if they meet the Lakers in the first round, personally, I actually think that DeMarcus Cousins could get some good minutes out there, especially in that second unit, because he's really showing that he has something left in the tank. That's what I think. So DeMarcus Cousins has been good. So I think I've answered everybody. Guys, there are only 7 games clinched right now. The Lakers aren't one of them. Yeah, but I think the Lakers are going to end in the play-in. I don't think the Lakers are going to miss the playoffs. Join in the chat tonight. Chop it up. Appreciate that. Okay, so I think I've gotten everybody. I think I've answered everybody's question. Again, if I didn't answer your question, make sure you click the join button to join the channel. Leave your comment on the channel so I can see it, because whenever we publish content, we got a lot of questions, so we don't miss it. Another thing, we got a video coming out later today after we do this live, so be on the lookout for that. We got a video coming out on the channel talking about the game last night and some other thoughts, so you don't want to miss that. So make sure you guys check that out. Thank you guys for getting the likes, almost 150 likes. Thank you guys for all 200 plus people in here. Thank you guys for that. Thank you guys for the banter. Marco appreciates that. Marco's also in here. He's thanking you guys as well. Thank you so much for that. And we'll definitely catch you guys on the next live. Have a great weekend and catch you guys later. Peace.